Hi, I'm Gail Sturgis of TalentAlign, and I welcome you to our first meetup of 2020, which is the new way of working in Agile. What's happening in the world and why the necessity to change? A bit about me for those who don't know me yet. I'm an IT person by background and by profession. I developed expertise in the financial field through years of defining and developing financial systems and financial models for business planning and decision making. I then went into sales and marketing. I marketed a range of industrial printers and automatic identification technologies for tracking goods in manufacturing and distribution center environments. I then sold e-learning training solutions and set up walk-in learning centers in many of the large organizations in South Africa. As Executive Director of the IT Users Council, I established and ran the IT standards generating body for about 8 years and generated or was part of the generation of learning standards for IT. From that experience, I set up a comprehensive competency framework for IT that now covers over 550 different roles in IT, including the new Agile roles. In the HR field, I've been working in the areas of organization design, role and competency profiling, career and competency management, and performance management. I also work as an associate consultant with PE Corporate Services and provide advice on jobs to be used in their IT salary survey and help clients with their job matching. And so on to our topic for the day. We've all heard of the term VUCA. We're living in a VUCA world, for example. Well, what does VUCA stand for? The V in VUCA stands for volatile. Things change continuously. What is true today isn't true tomorrow. Even the nature and dynamics of change is changing. Products that are an absolute success today can be worthless in less than a year's time. Think Kodak and BlackBerry. The U stands for uncertain. More than ever, we live with a lack of predictability and a prospect for a surprise at every turn. It's impossible today to predict how markets will evolve, and because of globalization, a relatively small cause can have huge worldwide consequences. Think of the 2008 financial crisis, for example. The C stands for complex. Simple cause and effect chains have been replaced by complex, interconnected forces and events. Interconnectedness makes all things increasingly complex. Think about your smartphone, for example. The A is for ambiguous. Is milk good or bad for you? What is the cost of nuclear versus wind energy? Are internal social media, such as Yammer, a success or not? You can easily find convincing but totally contradictory information for any assertion. Old certainties have disappeared in a mist of haziness and misunderstanding. This might well be so, but why? In the past, and even still today, we pretty much look at the future as an extension of today. Tomorrow will generally be much like today. The problem is, change is actually exponential. Without going into a maths lesson, this is the basic difference between a linear function and an exponential function. I'm providing you with the formula so that you can see the difference in the formula as well as the resulting graph. The linear function produces the straight line, the blue line in the image. The exponential function produces the curved line, the red line in the image. So, using this image as an example, if we say the bottom line is time in years and the horizontal line is the number of changes, you will see immediately that with linear growth, we will experience 10 changes in 5 years. But with exponential growth, we will experience 10 changes in 6.5 years, much quicker. The biggest mistake that we're making in business today is Most long-range forecasts of technical feasibility in future time periods dramatically underestimate the power of future technology, because they're based on what scientists call the intuitive linear view of technological progress, rather than the historical exponential view. In other words, all our predictions are being made on a linear view of the future, but the future is not linear, it's exponential. To put this another way, using linear view, we might expect 100 years of progress in the next 100 years. Sounds reasonable, doesn't it? But no, at today's rate of growth, we can expect to experience in the order of 20,000 years of progress in the next 100 years. But that is only at today's rate of change. And in fact, the rate of progress is also changing exponentially. So the 20,000 years of change could become 25,000 or even 35,000 years of change in just 100 years. The thing is, we really don't know what's coming our way in the future. And what's more, we can't even begin to guess. So our question has to be, what do we do now? What can we do to prepare ourselves for this? Because we have to start this preparation now. First, let's look at two slides that come from the 2018 World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. Between 2018 and 2022, the jobs of 75 million people will become redundant. These are jobs such as data entry clerks, accountants and bookkeepers, administrators and secretaries, assembly and factory workers. But there will be 133 million more new opportunities. Roles such as data analytics and data science, artificial intelligence and machine learning, software and applications development and analyst, digital transformation specialists. The problem is we don't have those skills, and right now we are unlikely to get them in the time. Then a look at the skills outlook from the same report. In South Africa, we need to be particularly aware of these changes. Manual jobs are declining. Jobs that are largely repetitive or of a monitoring or supervisory nature are declining. The jobs for the future need more than a rudimentary element of cognitive ability. Our education systems are not preparing our future workers for this, so we have to, because the future of our businesses relies on this. The silver bullet for skills development from now on is learning agility. According to Metal, learning agility is the ability to continually and rapidly learn, unlearn, and relearn mental models and practices from a variety of experiences, people, and sources, and to apply that learning in new and changing contexts to achieve desired results. It's a mindset and corresponding collection of practices that allow people to continually develop, grow, and utilize new strategies that will equip them for the increasingly complex problem that they face in their organizations. In fact, this is what Alvin Toffler wrote in Future Shock way back in 1970. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Our problem today is, the future is now. Not everyone is going to have the same skill set in each dimension. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. According to Korn Ferry Lominger, learning agility has 5 dimensions. Mental agility. People with mental agility are curious, investigative types who move quickly to collect new information, identify its uses, and then apply it in practice. They know how to weed through the fluff and find the healthy root of a resource turning it into action items to boost their productivity and work towards their goals. People agility. People with people agility are good with people. They build strong relationships easily and connect on an emotional level. They're seen as leaders and are often the first that others turn to when problems pop up. Change agility. Those with change agility love a good challenge and tackle new experiences head-on. They're experimental and like to use different perspectives and methods to problem solve. They're often seen as go-getters, and there's little that will stand in their way when hunting for a solution. A feature of change agility is there's no fear of failure, only the excitement to learn something new. And results agility. Results agility characteristics are pretty akin to change agility ones, but there's one distinct difference. While people who rank high for change agility believe in getting back on the horse, those with results agility aim to never fall off in the first place. The perfectionist twin of change agility, these individuals are just as passionate about new experiences, but have a second drive that pushes them to get the best results possible every time. Instead of trial and error, it's trial and nail it. And finally, self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to identify and understand your own strengths and weaknesses, and is actually incredibly important to one's career success. Those who are aware of themselves typically perform better than others because they can self-assess and adapt accordingly. Their lack of blind spots makes them invaluable in work settings because they carry an objective view of situations and can offer a mostly unbiased perspective. Being aware of these 5 dimensions can allow those responsible for people management to better allocate responsibilities and assign roles accurately by allowing team members to be their most productive and efficient based on their style of learning agility profile. It also enables them to help individuals develop their learning agility so that they can be fully functional and participative in the new way of working. And so we come to Agile people management. Why does this need to be different? What will it look like, and how do we achieve it? We must ask ourselves the question, why business agility? In 2008, the University of Maryland developed a database with over 153 data points on the costs and benefits of Agile project management from 72 studies. The benefits of Agile versus traditional projects were higher in every metric. Return on investment was nearly 6 times higher for Agile project management, and what's more, the studies of Agile project management were often of better quality. An Agile business model is based on different perspectives than traditional business models. Traditional business models were based almost solely on return on investment to shareholders. The new Agile business model is based almost solely on customer centricity. Strategy today is about the best solutions for the customer. The culture of the organization is a customer-centric culture. Processes are based on customer experience management. Metrics and rewards are based on deep customer insight, and successful organizations today are structured on value streams based on customer segments rather than the traditional silos. This new business model is about having a strategy that is based on innovation, customer centricity, adaptiveness, and quick response time in order to create and maintain a competitive advantage in the market. This is what agility is really about. This is a description by Steve Denning in an article published in Forbes magazine that I think really does capture the substance of Agile. Agile is a focus on delivering value to our customers, working in small teams, in short cycles, and networked organizational arrangements, rather than top-down bureaucracy and silos. In fact, if you still maintain top-down bureaucracy and silos, we can pretty much say for certain today that you are not agile. We are fast moving from job-based organizations to role and competency-based organizations, where multi-skilling, diversity, multiple roles, and cross-functional roles become the order of the day. This means we will move away from the traditional career paths to a career mosaic where people can move in any direction based on their career aspirations. But this puts an obligation on the organization to show employees what the possibilities are within the organization. If we don't show what's possible in the organization, people will look outside the organization. That is largely why IT staff turnover has climbed to between 20% and 22%, according to the latest PE Corporate Services IT salary survey. We don't know how to provide career opportunities in this new way of working. I fully agree that career management is the responsibility of the individual, but it's the responsibility of the organization to show what the career opportunities are within that organization, and we're just not getting that right yet. And the organization needs to become a learning organization, develop learning agility, and enable people to learn in a modular fashion as and when needed. As Richard Branson so famously said, train people well enough so that they can leave, but treat them well enough so that they don't want to. It's a very different world that we live in today, and it's not ever going back to what we once knew. So we have to learn to adapt to what is happening. This is going to be fairly easy for some and almost impossible for others, but we have no choice. The future is yours. Go out and grab it. Thank you for attending this Agile People Management Meetup. We hope that you learned something, and we look forward to seeing you again in future meetups or even on one of our programs. Enjoy the rest of your day.